starvation, the recipe, people subdued. When the people you trust got it in for you. Deceit is the word of the day and every clue. Don't let it go, it's from the days of old. Time is up, but some still do not know. Can I make up my mind? Is it worth the dime? Do I have to take a minute just to make it mine? Life's never fair, but don't listen to the TV. Go out and take a listen to the streets with the people in the slums and the homeless bums with degrees and degrees sitting under a tree. It's not easy in the world for the poor man, the one that brought you to reality. See, they don't want you to know about the black sheep, leaving 7 roads to the 12 families all around the globe with an ancient code. Is it really asking a lot to say a death old? Cause we sitting on the earth looking back at extinct, and I'm standing on some ground that's about to sink. I ain't scared for a minute, I ain't about to blink, but I documented for the world what I see and think. Feel we on the call and up and we on the break. All Congress gonna do is waste paper and ink. Vote or die, you voted and you'll die. You can have it both ways, can't say it's a lie. You can march all you want, but they playing you wrong. They only understand war, it's the same old song. They want war, all they really want is a war. Diversionary tactic to make the big score. The diamonds in the morning, you know they want more, but they wanna keep you low, so they manifest the war. War, all they really want is a war. Diversionary tactic to make the big score. The diamonds in the morning, you know they want more, but they wanna keep you low, so they manifest the war. Like a lotus coming out of the mud with colors, I create envy in those with power but jealous. I unify the poor with my song, the hell with the others. Descended the way they treat indigenous brothers. Cause I understand we link forever. They try to hate us even though that we keep it together. I'm not talking about controlling the air or the weather. I'm talking about maintaining the truth, the high endeavor. A rebel drops bombs in the midst of trouble. The free world counterattack and now there's double. But nature gets the shit in a way that's subtle. If you stop the machines for a minute you might hear, but they won't cause the TV's whisper in the ear. And capitalism has eyes that don't tear, and they cloud up and get crazy and won't stare. And like an ab, it's hard to get an ass to listen. Living like this is like living in prison. It's hard to keep hope when you're living in prison. The spiritual thoughts, so yes, the mental prison. The outside, yes, it's got to get through. Something's gotta die, so something here can live. Your life is nothing if you got nothing to give. Keeping the spiritual, yes, disguised as religion. Controlling your mind, the mental prison. They want war, all they really want is a war. Diversionary tactic to make the big score. The diamonds in the morning, you know they want more, but they wanna keep you low, so they manifest the war. War, all they really want.
Yeah, that's right, that's right, that's right, that's right. Trump is about to give a big announcement from the Oval Office, and you know, we're gonna find out what it is. We're gonna find out what it is, and it could be any damn thing, because at the end of the day, we are talking about Mr. Trump, the guy who's known for hanging out with people that like him young, the guy who's known for actually adjudicated, a sexual assault guy type of dude. He's been adjudicated as such, and so anything is on the menu. Dude suspected of committing treason. A guy suspected of being involved with espionage. A dude suspected of others having all types of compromising videotapes and pictures, photographs, other stuff on him, like Epstein. People suspect that Epstein does. They suspect that's why Pam Bondi and Kash Patel and all of them are hiding the Epstein files. There's others that suspect that it's not just that it's also Putin has compromising information on him, which makes him look like a very weak character in the face of the world, at least in the face of, most reasonable people. I mean, goddamn, you don't have to agree with U.S. foreign policy, but damn, you must agree Trump is a wimp. I mean, he is a damn wimp, especially when it comes to Putin and just the regular old everyday USA stuff. This guy is a wimp. He might be out there. He could today. Hold on. Let me put the camera on for a second while I do this. Here we go. Yeah, so I can say what's up to everybody in the meantime. What's up? What's up, everybody? Ha ha. Yeah, I'm reporting from Copenhagen, Denmark. American citizen. born and raised in Washington, D.C., living in Copenhagen, Denmark. Both members of my family go back to the beginning of the country, both sides of my family, And so I'm reporting here as I normally do. And, I hope everybody's doing well. But look, y'all, tell me this. Do you think that Putin, no, do you think that he's going to give power to JD Vance today? Do you think that's what he's going to do? Oh shit, they're about to go live, y'all. Look, they're about to go live. Do you think that he is let me turn the camera around so y'all can see what's going on. Do you think that he is about to let's say, what else could it be? Could it be that he's about to announce that something like that he's going to attack Venezuela? I don't know. Some people think that to distract from the Epstein files. I mean, it could be that. It could be that. Or is it that he's, sickly and he's going to give power to JD Vance today, as I've been saying for a while? I didn't know it was going to be this fast. If it's today, I didn't know it was going to be that fast. But I did say it's going to be before this winter holidays, before Christmas and all of that, because the truth is that the folks in power that really have the money, they're fucking tired of Trump. And people like Peter Thiel and folks that put Trump up to this, Elon Musk and all of that, you know, they ain't happy with Trump. So especially because of the Epstein files, it's destroying the GOP leading up to the midterm elections. And the midterm elections are even more important than the presidential election, because the midterm election, you can off with the heads of everybody. The midterm election, if you have the majority, 51% of the Congress, and you have 60% of the House, you know, then you can off with the head of Supreme Court judges who've been biased in treating in their treatment of Trump, and biased in their treatment of Biden. It's almost like they treated Biden like he was a tyrant just for asking for reparatory justice for some Americans, economic justice for some Americans, all Americans. I mean, they treated Biden horrible, like he was un-American for saying, let's do some student debt relief. Let's get some Americans out of lifetime debt, so they can invest in a home. They treated Biden like he was the enemy of the United States of America. But on the other hand, they gave a green light to Trump. So and everybody knows it, in these midterm elections, you can get rid of JD Vance, you can get rid of Trump, you can get with the biased Supreme Court justices, and you can reset the slate for the United States of America. If Americans want that. If Americans think their tax dollars should go to something like, regardless of what else is going on in the world, should be able to maintain some health care, should be able to get folks, no matter what class you are, lower class, upper class, middle class, maybe your tax dollars should be able to get you some access to education, higher learning, without being in debt for the rest of your life. I mean, so, these midterms are important. So this announcement, it's likely. I mean, I don't know what you think, and I want you to tell me what you think. But in my view, Trump is going to do one of two things. Either he's going to cede power right now to JD Vance and announce that one of his last things is going to be to pardon Maxwell, which he's going to do anyway. He's going to do it whether he tells you or not. Or it's going to be about an attack on Venezuela. I doubt it's going to have anything to do with this news story going out about Ursula, the head of the EU, her plane being attacked somewhat, jammed, the signal GPS jammed and all of that, which could easily lead to a crash. That's the implication behind it, and that seemed to happen to her in the last 24 hours. That's the big story running. But you let me know. Look, they're not ready at the White House right now, but we got it on lock. We got the White House on lock. It is coming, and we're going to get a chance to watch this together live. And I'm only taking this moment. Actually, I got a busy day today, but I'm taking this moment with you all because I appreciate everybody. This is a big moment, obviously, for Americans. And being as an American that lives outside of the U.S., I mean, I'm feeling for my country. We're Americans that live outside of the U.S. And live in, in comparable situations. We are watching what's going on in our country very, very closely. And I can tell you from the ones that live in Denmark, which like over 10,000 Americans live in Denmark, we don't like what the hell Trump is doing. And we could tell you a lot about what we would like to see in a fair USA. In a fair USA, a USA where no matter if your parents are poor, no matter if your parents are middle class, no matter if your parents are rich, what you become of yourself is not based on what and who your parents are and their situation. That means everybody got an equal opportunity to succeed. You know, yeah, that's what I'm looking for because that's what I got here where I live, where my taxes go to right now in Denmark, in Copenhagen, Denmark. We all have, our kids all have paid education. They get a stipend to go to higher education. They get a stipend. They get a stipend for technical school. They get a stipend to better themselves. And on top of that, healthcare is free. You get access to the public and the private hospital within the free um, universal healthcare system here in Denmark. So we could tell you a lot about how it works. Legacy media won't tell you a lot about how it works. They use harsh terms like socialism and they use capitalism. But let me tell you, none of those words apply here because what's going on is a nuanced mixture of both. Economic engine being capitalist and open, and then certain things like the public things are collective bargaining, meaning folks all chip in together to get the best from anywhere that it is the best in the world. And that means equipment and the knowledge to apply it, So that's what's going on over here. I hope Americans I hope we get this asshole out of office. I hope we get this dude out of office. I'm sick and tired of him. I'm sick and tired of Trump. I'm sick and tired of his thieving ass family. I'm sick and tired of his thieving ass friends. I'm sick and tired of him. By the way, the chat is open to subscribers only. It only takes 1 minute. If you hit the subscribe button, in 1 minute, you are inside the chat if you want to leave your comments. If not, feel free to just watch along. I'm here. I'm waiting for this bozo to come out. Obviously, he won't be walking out because he might fall over and keel over and die. So he's probably going to be sitting at his desk. He's probably going to be sitting over at his desk. I pray for the rest of the world that he doesn't, announce, a nuclear war. You know what I'm saying? Or Trump would do any damn thing at this point to evade the Epstein files. So we don't know. We're going to find out together, and this is going to be the biggest and best newscast in the world. According to Trump standards, it's going to be the biggest and the best in the world. You can be sure of it. Whatever it is, it's going to be the biggest and the best. So let's watch this together. Damn, I mean, why are they taking so long? Come on, man, give us the damn update. Well, they were preparing the room. They had the camera check already. That went live to check the feed. To check, I guess they might come on again to check the microphones, and then they will have Trump's old ass ready to say something, to announce whatever it is. How many of you believe that Trump is in good health? If you think Trump is in good health, even the trolls, come on. I know you out there too. The paid farms, troll farms, you can also participate. If you think Trump is in good health, put a 1 in the chat. If you think he's in really bad health, put a 2 in the chat. I'm just curious about what people think. Me, I think he's in horrible, horrible health. I don't think Trump is doing good. I think they've been hiding it for some time. I think they've been using his old ass, and because he's basically a fat slob at this point, and he's always been a slob, and they just been using him. They know how his brain ticks, and if you just praise him a little bit, he gives you what you want. That's the reputation Trump has around the world with all people. All people, you kiss his ass a little bit, he gives you what you want. Then if the next person comes and kisses his ass a little bit, he forgets that you kissed his ass, and then he gives you what he wants. But for Trump to really, really stick with you, I believe the key is you got to have some compromising information on him. Then he'll stick with you to the end, like Maxwell. Yes, Ghislaine Maxwell, her, things like that. Or he's going to try to off you. Either way, kind of like maybe Epstein. I don't know. You know what I'm saying? He died during the Trump administration. Obviously, Trump didn't send too much help his way like he's sending Maxwell. That's very, very odd. That's very, very odd. Very, very odd. So, how do you go from best friend to dying when you're the president, and now you're basically going to pardon the other person that was right next to him? I mean, what does that mean? So I think it's a good chance we're going to see Trump step down and give over the presidency to JD Vance. And I think, hey, what's up, Scotland? All right, Keefe, what's up, man? There you go. Yeah, Scotland in the house. Yeah, I think Trump is going to pass the baton to JD Vance. I think they're really hurting right now, the GOP. The Epstein files has really hurt the GOP, and they basically know they're out of this thing. Like, they basically know because of these Epstein files and because of Putin, Trump is basically out of here, and anybody that supported him is basically out of here in the midterm elections. And did you guys hear that MAGA Mike Johnson, the head of Congress, he alluded to the fact that he wants people to wait until next year, until fall next year, to find out about the Epstein stuff? Did y'all catch that in MAGA Mike Johnson's last public TV appearances? He made 2 or 3 just in the last couple of days, and then he's gone again. But he said something that was very strange that I don't know if y'all caught it. I don't have the playback for it right now, but 2 seconds, hold on. Yeah, but he said something that alluded to the fact, MAGA Mike Johnson, that he expected people to wait until next year to do the Epstein files. It's like, what the hell, dude? Yeah, Keefe. Yeah, Trump's so stressed out over the Epstein files, it's nearly I think so. I mean, if that was you, wouldn't it kill you? I mean, he's a slob, so it took a little longer. But any person with a conscience that knows they did something wrong, this has got to be killing him. And, it's got to be killing him. And what kills me even more is how these phony people around him they will continue as long as he can continue. What's up, Teresa? They will continue as long as he can continue. They're like, hey, if the old man can continue to scam, let's keep it up. Let's keep it up, y'all. Our checkbooks are involved in this, They all got little private contracts, all of them, all his administration. There's not one of them that doesn't have some kind of private contract they're making money off of because of their connections to Trump and the White House now. It's either Trump or the White House. It's sickening. It's a sickening display. It's a gluttonous administration. I mean, the whole administration is just eating the USA like a bunch of slobs and pigs. So I hope he kills over and dies, like flat out, you know what I'm saying? But that wouldn't be enough. That's not payback enough, Maybe they should do a Wu-Tang Clan on his ass and tie him down on the table and, burn an iron and like Method Man said. I mean, you know what I'm saying? or tie him up and pull his private thing out on the table and take a bat and put some nails in it and bow. Bow, bow. I mean, that won't even be enough. That won't even be enough. You know what I'm saying? Oh, shit. Yo, Paul Cummings said Trump is an embarrassment. He is. He's an embarrassment to America. Damn. I mean, if you're an American, it's your duty to come out and speak, especially if you live overseas. You know, you can't walk down the damn streets. This man tried to spit on and not be like, fuck Trump. Hey, I'm going to tell you something, Paul. This is not a joke. I I co-organized the demonstration in front of the American embassy against this fool. I'm not bullshitting you, man. It's not on my YouTube channel, but everybody here knows so. I told my damn boss, sorry about Trump. I'm serious, man. This shit is crazy, man. It's crazy. I hope he goes to President Epstein's himself. I hope they all do. You know, I hope they all go down. All of them. In my view, they are enemies of the United States of America, like officially, like in a very bad way. Like jail for the rest of your life way. Like, don't play with people like this. You know, but they obviously believe they have. Let me know how I'm doing. Sorry about that, y'all. I had to log back in. Obviously, the streaming was a little slow. Is the internet all right now? Let me know how I'm doing. Sorry about that. Okay. I had to log back in. All right, I see it. It's okay. Yeah, let me know if it drags a little. But yes, I myself, I'm sick and tired of Trump. That's an understatement. I think Trump is driving Americans to buy guns personally and register their weapons. You know, I think Trump is, if there was any motivator to, if there was any person that could motivate Democrats, blue states, people to get licensed to carry weapons and to possess weapons for their homes in case of something bad happening, Trump is that president. You know, a lot of people been a little, you know, no Americans like to be politically harassed with violence. But I think Dems have been politically harassed with violence for a long time. And I think those days, because of Trump, I think those days are over. Those days are over. You know, Dems and gun possession has never, you know, guns are obviously a problem in the U.S., but political violence is a huge problem as well. And until you cure this political violence problem, the gun issue is probably not going to go away. But I know one thing for sure. In my heart, I feel like the one thing that will stop the political violence and the political tinkering, like using military and National Guard to harass citizens, I think citizens being armed is one thing that definitely will change that approach. Especially the way those people walk around in your town when they know they're walking around in a town of people full of legal arms, legally armed, you know. And I think Trump has brought the U.S. to that point. I don't know if he intended it or if he didn't intend it, but for me, I know for sure as long as there's a president like Trump and as long as there's these MAGA types out there, me in the US, I'm going to be carrying a registered weapon. You know what I mean? Like seriously, like I'm too old. I had too good of a life to be harassed. You see what I mean? And I'm damn sure not going in any chains by any bullshit artists like these ICE people on accident. You know what I'm saying? Like that's an insult to any American citizen to have them going around racially profiling people, thinking you can just grab people while wearing a mask. No, 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 no. Sorry, that's not for everybody. That's not for everybody. You know what I mean? And also, search and seizure is not for everybody. Illegal search and seizure, violating the Fourth Amendment, is not for everybody. I know myself and a lot of other Americans. Nah, we ain't going for that shit. You know, and I just really think Trump administration. Oh shit! Hold on. Men när det kommer till medlivning. Can y'all hear that? We might be going live now. Hold on, let me get this ready. It could be live. 2 seconds. Okay, no, they not. It's almost live. It's almost live. But we right here ready. But yeah, you know, I hate to speak that way, but you know, Trump has scared a lot of American citizens, And let me see. I can't believe your governments are sheep to it. Man, you said your government. Damn, where you from, Paul? I'm like, but I can't either. How the hell? How the hell we supposed to be sheep to? How? Don't get me wrong. I don't think we should be harassing people either. I think on the global stage, being treated as an equal, being treated with respect is good enough. Just equal respect, regardless of what nation it is. Especially if it's an issue over finances and being small. We should respect all nations as equals on the global stage, on the human stage. Even if we do have a big economy and a lot of power and things like that and weapons. But yeah, the way we bowing down to other authoritarians like Netanyahu is like and Putin, even Putin, man, fuck that. Russia ain't that powerful. They might have a lot of spies, but I think a lot of people have it twisted in their mind if they think that the EU is just going to accept being harassed by Russia. I don't think the EU takes Russia as a serious threat, as they should, because they're close. But when EU people get threatened, I think Russia might have something to think about also, even without the US. But even us, man, god damn, I mean, we're supposed to be helping to solve crises in the world. All Trump is doing is letting the shit blow up. Look at how he's handled the Palestinian issue with Israel. Look at how he's handled it. I mean, Hamas and these guys, they've been wanting peace for a minute. They've been accepting Joe Biden's offer for a minute. Trump just blew that up and said, fuck it, we don't want that. He destroyed the Iranian peace deal also that Obama made. I mean, come on, man. These right wingers in the U.S., man, they just keep failing people on a human level, and yeah. So it's terrible, man. We had our one school shooting back in 1995 and 96 in Dunblane, Scotland, and the government took away our guns. Now everyone's out stabbing each other. Yeah. But you do have, I mean, violence is a problem, and in general. And I would say, look at, violence is not the way to solve. Violence should be used as a last means for anything, particularly violence like that with a weapon. I don't think it solves problems in any inner societal problems. I don't think it does. And it's a shame that people have to use it to protect their homes, even to think that they have to have it to protect their homes. But inside of the U.S., man, we got a huge gun problem. And, but we have our problem is really politically induced. Like, we got a huge political violence problem in the U.S. And, it just comes from political parties stoking anger, stoking hate, and acting like it's not a big deal. You know what I'm saying? Acting like it's not a big deal at all. Acting like somebody with political motives going out and shooting 50 people is, that's okay. That's not so bad. It's the worst alternative is if it's like our politicians don't do enough, particularly the right, to make sure that they stress the fact that this is all Americans' home, not just some. And they really stoke some real false ideologies among that MAGA movement, because a lot of them families have zero to do with the foundings of the United States of America, but they act like it and they walk around like that and they commit acts like it. But if you dig in there, you will find that a lot of these people, just like Trump, he's a third generation American. Third generation is nowhere near close to the beginning of the U.S. Nowhere near close to colonial America. And what's this dude talking about, man? But they think that they're first for some other reason, just because they're assholes, Israel run out the government too. Well, things are changing on Israel right now. I think Netanyahu is very similar to Trump. Like, what he did, if he finished himself, essentially. He might, in his warped mind, think that he's going out like a hero or something. Man, He went out like a fool. He destroyed Israel's image worse than anyone ever could. He destroyed so much, and he destroyed so many relations, so many people that backed him. You know, he destroyed that possibility too. So Netanyahu, I think you get a guy like him when the direction is about to change forever. Like in my view, he exploited a lot of power. There's not enough. He doesn't reach out for peace at all. You know, they violated every treaty damn near with the keep occupying and trying to take every piece of land. I mean, who are you to do these things while you're dependent on others to help you? Like, who does that? Who does that? Who does that? But Netanyahu, and I'm not saying that Hamas is equally is like always perfect or anything like that, or Hezbollah, no, or even Iran, nah, because I don't even believe Iran even cares about Palestine. To be honest with you, I think it's just a political decision for them. Like they want to compete over trade in the Middle East, and they will support anyone who is anti any Westerners. I think that's how they approach it. Whether Palestinians live or die, I don't think they give a damn, And it's not personal what I'm saying to Iran. It's just by judging their actions. Everybody knows that Israel had a president that would be viciously violent towards Palestinians and would violate their rights if they were attacked. And yet somehow they got attacked. And it's terrible. I wouldn't have done that. I think it wasn't a wise move. I think diplomacy was the stronger hand. But then again, who's to say, man? When you're not there, who's to say? All I could say is that my heart goes out to Palestinians. I understand Israelis have suffered a lot of terrorist attacks and things like that. But leadership can solve a lot of problems. Good leadership, reaching out, I think, is the key to this. But having said that, it's a rough world, bro. It's a rough world out there. Hey, newsflash, Phoney things. Hey, what's up? News, I got you. Things worth knowing. I see you. Yeah, we here waiting for Trump's big ass to give his announcement. Here we go. You see? We're waiting for Trump to get on screen. He's not on screen right now, but he will be soon. And let me see something here. Let me see what's up with AP News on it. Are they here? Is it this one? No, it's not. Is it this one? There it is. Yeah, AP News is still here. Okay, yeah, everybody's waiting. Everybody's waiting right now for Trump to bring his ass out here and say what he want to say. And a lot of people hate his ass right now. I mean, Trump's he's been in a way a unifying figure for a lot of others that, in a more fairer world will have more to say. We'll have more opportunities, But yeah, he's definitely done some things to push people together. I mean, but I really hope he's not planning on attacking Venezuela, because in my mind that's just like a betrayal. Like, come on, man, they're Americans too, and we don't have to politically align and agree with them all the time. But to attack people, sovereign countries and things like that, it can't be. It's not at all good. And I have a strange suspicion he might be announcing an attack on Venezuela. I have a strange suspicion it's either that or he's turning over power to J.D. Vance. That's my suspicion. The attack on Venezuela or turning over power to J.D. Vance because he's sick. And this is what I've been suspecting for a minute. It could be both, or it could be one today and then the next tomorrow. Maybe he does the attack first, because I think their plan was to Trump to do enough as he could do, and then give it to J.D. Vance so J.D. Vance can kind of pretend like he's changing a little bit of direction, a little bit, so he can toss off some of the negative things on Trump but continue their plan of fleecing America, ripping off the American taxpayer, and enslaving Americans for Peter Thiel. You know, I suspect whatever it is coming, and both are coming, I suspect. I don't know if the Venezuela thing is coming, but the thing about Maxwell is definitely coming. Turning over power to J.D. Vance is definitely coming. Whether it's coming today or tomorrow, we don't know. But I mean, in my heart, I don't know, but it's definitely coming. It's impending, you know, and but it could be just a little attack on Iran. It could be, or it could be some announcement about the EU or something. Who knows? Who knows? Who knows? But I think it's more likely Venezuela, or he's stepping down to get JD Vance let JD Vance, because I think the biggest threat is the GOP. Look at them. I mean, the GOP, they've been acting so strange lately. I mean, when you got MAGA Mike Johnson scared to appear, he doesn't even know what to say anymore. You know what I mean? And MAGA Mike Johnson is the most bootlickingest leader of the House that Trump has ever had. He is totally, Vance is pro-Russian. I mean, he's crazy. He is pro-Russian. Well, at least he's been capping for Trump. He's definitely been capping for Trump and lying for Trump and trying to make this shit about Trump look normal with Putin. That shit is not normal at all. And again, I don't know why he's doing it, if it's just about the Epstein files or if it's just, because the Epstein files are a complete, utter embarrassment. And maybe Putin has those files, or maybe Putin has something else. But whatever it is, J.D. Vance is capped for Trump in almost every endeavor. And but one thing American people need to understand is that even when J.D. Vance gets in power, it's still the same game. Because one thing people should remember is he was the deciding factor in the big ugly bill. Without his signature, that $1 trillion tax break to corporations, to the wealthy, and the turning over of the Medicaid system, just ripping up, that shit couldn't have happened. All those things couldn't have happened without Vance. A lot of those decisions came right down the line, Republicans versus Democrats. And since they have like the 1-point majority, they often win, or a slight majority, they often win those battles. And J.D. Vance was the deciding one. So I think American people just got to understand that he's not the mastermind either. J.D. Vance is no mastermind. He's a puppet. Trump is no mastermind. He's a puppet, and they used these guys very, very well. Like, he got used very, very well. And that is why you need to know what's in the Epstein files, because you can be a powerful nation, as powerful as you want, have as much money as you want, have the most powerful military. But if your leaders are easily compromised, if everybody else have blackmailed on your leaders, man, you're weak. Your country is just weak. It don't matter how many weapons you got. You can't use your weapons if your leader says no. You see what I mean? You can't make any deal if your leader says no. And if your leader is blackmailed, well, that means you're not free. You're not living in no free society, Minimum wage in America is a disgrace. I feel, but you know what? Americans have to get their shit together. 80 million people did not vote in the last presidential election. 80 million people play a role that didn't vote, play a role in what is happening right now in the U.S., all of it. And the one thing you must do in a democracy is vote. If you want to complain, at all, if you didn't vote, man, what the hell are you complaining about? And 80 million people, that's almost more than what either party got in votes. You know what I'm saying? So I don't want to hear. People need to. People need to goddamn vote, man. And also, don't be stupid. Why would you vote for an elitist? Why would you vote for? There was two clear decisions. One party wanted health care, housing for the poor, and education. The other party fucking wanted to take it away and give the wealthy tax breaks. Why would you vote for the one that wanted to take it away and give the? You know why it was? They fell for the Russian disinformation. They just like Trump fell for the honeypot. I mean, and you got to have a soft ass brain to fall for that Russian disinformation. I mean, sure, it's very prevalent in social media. Sure, it's out there a lot, but use your brain, God damn it, use your brain. And a lot of these MAGA folk got they got no education. They the ones that should want more education, free education, and they don't even fucking want it. What the hell? I mean, what the hell, man? I don't know what to say, bro. I don't know what to say. Where the hell is Trump's ass, man? It's 8:30, bro. Where the hell is Trump? Hold on. What the hell is going on? Where's Trump? It's 8:30. Trump ain't out here yet. It's 8:30. Trump is not out here yet. Man, he better get his ass out here on a stage, yo. Like right now. Come on. That's so weird. Yeah, Trump is not out here. He's not out yet, y'all. I don't know what to say. You gonna keep us waiting? Or maybe he likes a long entrance or some shit. Or, I don't know what it is, but I don't know what the hell it is, man. I don't know what to say. Yeah, so y'all, let me just give an update. We're here waiting for Trump. We're here waiting for Trump. I'm broadcasting live from Copenhagen, Denmark. We're waiting to see what this lunatic, is going to announce to the world. I'm expecting it's going to either be an attack on Venezuela or it's going to be Trump stepping down and giving power to J.D. Vance. That's what I'm predicting. Now, those are my two top picks. Stepping down to give power to J.D. Vance or an attack on Venezuela. That's what I suspect. Y'all want to do some bets? Who wants to bet on what's going to happen? Who wants to bet on what the announcement is? Put a 1 in the chat if you think he's going to step down and give power to J.D. Vance today. Put a 2 in the chat if you think he's going to attack Venezuela. Again, if you think Trump is going to announce stepping down to J.D. Vance today, put a 1 in the chat. If you think he's going to attack Venezuela, announce that attack, put a 2 in the chat. I think he's going to, somebody said both. Damn, Paul said both. I think it's going to be one or the other. I'm not quite sure. I know he's going to step down to give J.D. Vance power. If it ain't today, he's going to do it anytime, any goddamn way. That's happening, if not by the end of the week, the end of the month. You know what I'm saying? If not today, the end of the month. But yeah, it's hard to know. It's hard to choose. Those are, because look, a war could help him hang on for what, one more goddamn day? Whatever it is, he's on his way out. He's probably just going to try to do whatever he can do to just get whatever he wanted to get, his little last things out there, his old ass can get out there, and then pass over power, But okay, Keefe, you think it's 1. Okay, so you topping up. All right, I guess it's okay. So we waiting here to find out what's up going on with Trump, and Trump is late. He's 40 minutes late. This AP news stream has been live now for an hour, basically, and he still hasn't come out yet. I mean, I don't even know if you hope it's 1. You hoping it's 1? I mean, I'm hoping it's 1 too, because I would hate to see that he try to attack Venezuela, man, because all politics aside, whatever it is, I don't think that's not good. That's not cool at all, man. That's actually harmful for all Americans, like South Americans, Central Americans, North Americans. Is actually just destroying any level of solidarity that Americans really do have outside of politics. Americans do have a lot of solidarity, yeah, our cultures are not that different. We speak different languages, but our cultures are not really that different. We enjoy each other's things, the things that we bring to the table. I enjoy the Caribbean. I enjoy South America. I enjoy Central America. I enjoy the culture, the music, the food. I enjoy the history. The history is, we have the same history in North America, we're the same people, natives, indigenous people, immigrants from Europe, and African descent. You know what I mean? That's basically the America we see today, from north to south to central, all and also Asians, right? So it has a particular history, the continent, and I don't like seeing people, Americans attack each other, not violently. You know, we can have disputes, but we have much more power working together and respecting each other, and that would just be horrible to see, man. But then again, we dealing with Trump. We are dealing with Trump, and Trump is a extremely hateful, petty man who has little integrity. So yeah, there's only one race, the human race. Exactly, man. Everybody has just got different and adapted to some different environments and things like this, and but we're actually closer today than ever, just because technology, you know what I mean? We eat the same foods affect your body, environment affects your body. But education, access to information affects your body, affects your mind, it affects how you think, right? And so we're pretty far as a human race now, and what separates us is very small things at this point, So hopefully more people get on board with that idea, and especially us Americans, man. Americans, we need to get on board with that idea, man, because if not, we're going to suffer. We're going to suffer. No amount of money or weapons can stop you from suffering a political fate, bad political decisions, and bad decisions. Okay, Tia says, I wonder if Putin has anything to do with Venezuela, if there's something there that he wants, because we know that Canada and Greenland and Panama have things that I think Russia is pretty much spread very thin. And I think personally, Russia's not very powerful outside of having a nuke. I don't think they're very powerful. They're powerful when you're dealing with unindustrialized nations, and smaller nations to some degree, but not with like the U.S. or the EU or things like that, or even China. I think China is the bigger issue in South America, but I think Putin, he's so crazy. They just sell weapons to anybody. They don't care what the aftermath looks like. I think that's it. As long as you can scream anti-American or anti-Western sentiment, he's going to give you some weapons. He doesn't care if you're setting yourself up for slaughter, So I don't think Venezuelans believe much about Putin's power, and I don't think they would go to war with the U.S. wanting to go to war. You know what I'm saying? Not for even Putin, because we've played this game before. America has played this game before, So, and if you don't have a long game, in terms of the ability to prolong a war, to be engaged in a war that lasts many, many years, to have the resources to maintain it, why even do it? And I think that's where Putin messes up a lot. He talk a big game, but I think he's a very weak man personally. That's my view of it. But I think China is somebody that could sustain a lot. But I think they're very cautious and they move very, very precisely, and they're they don't operate like Russia. They're very specific about where they move, and they're very cautious about their moves, and they don't over move. Whereas though I think Russia over moves. And and I think I think China wants to continue to do business normally. They want to continue to do business with the EU. Because they have a population they got to feed, and a population that's coming up and is used to coming up, and a war will hinder that economic progress. So that's what I think, pretty much. Let me see here. Trump's announcement, he's going to get new cankles, and he's going to get a new diaper. Diaper Don's going to get a golden diaper this time. Exactly. Then he can sell his own. Yeah, man. I mean, this dude is not coming out, man. What does he want? What the hell do he want, man? It's 8:30. Okay. I messed up the time before. It's only a half an hour. He's a half an hour late. Okay, I thought he was 40 minutes late. Damn. I looked at the wrong clock. That's what it was. So he's 40 minutes late. The flag is just waving a little bit. He must like keeping people. Trump likes keeping people waiting and shit. He makes them feel important and stuff. But yo, the chat. If you subscribe, if you want to get in the chat, you subscribe, and it takes 1 minute, and then you're in the chat. Yeah, and I just do that to try to keep some of the troll activity down a little bit, because sometimes it's a little too much, But yeah, if you want to subscribe, you can get in the chat and leave a comment. I want to know where people are from. So if you're listening and you get a chance to chime in the chat, let me know where you're from, what part of the world you're in. I'm in Copenhagen, Denmark. I'm an American that lives in Copenhagen, Denmark. So let me know where you're at, what part of the world you're in. And we're watching Trump. We're ready. We're waiting for Trump to bring his big fat ass, old, crinkly, dusty ass, out to the desk to say whatever the hell he wants to say. And then, if he can say it, he might not even be able to say it. Look, it's 8:34. It's 8:36. Hold on. It's 2:36 Eastern Standard Time in the U.S. It's 8:36 p.m. in Central Europe, right? CET. And so Trump's 36 minutes late, man. When he gonna bring his ass out there and make this announcement? Maybe he couldn't make it. Maybe he died already. You don't know. Nobody knows. Yeah, T is from Michigan. There you go. Yeah, I know where y'all from. Keith is from Scotland. Okay. Yeah, Maybe he's dead already. Maybe he's dead, y'all. What do you think? If he dies, people are going to be celebrating, even though they know J.D. Vance is just as much of a punk as Trump. People are going to be celebrating across the world, yo. People are going to celebrate. Even President Xi, even the Chinese might celebrate. The only person that won't celebrate is Putin, I think. We need to buy some alcohol and have a party. Yeah. Light up your spliffs, get your drink on, get your rum, or get your cognac, whatever it is. Get ready, because you never know. Get your firecrackers and shit. Your what do they call those damn things? What are these things called right here? What's this called? I can't remember what the hell these things are called. Yo, fireworks. Yeah, get your fireworks ready, yo. Okay, you out in Maryland. Okay, Tara, you in Maryland? Okay, nice. Now, what part of Maryland? Nice. Yeah, I'm from D.C., so I know all over Maryland. I know every part of Maryland. Maryland's a beautiful part of the country, too, by the way. The Eastern Shore is really beautiful. Really beautiful, the Eastern Shore, actually. Baltimore's coming up, though. Baltimore's hip. Got a good music scene and seafood scene in Baltimore. You know, Cockeysville. Okay, I'm gonna have to look that up. I don't even know what Cockeysville is, but I'm gonna look it up. Yeah, is that on the Eastern Shore? Is it close to Delaware or? Yeah, but yeah, Trump's ass ain't out here yet. He's still trying to hold up the party. AP News is off the chain. I mean, as you see, you can't even get a word in. Yeah, but Trump ain't show his face yet. I'm starting to think he's not going to show his face. Baltimore County. Okay. Yeah, so that's close. Yeah. I don't think Trump is going to show up. I'm starting to think he's not. But in any case, how many of you have heard that there was some jamming, signal jamming on Ursula, the head of the EU, on her plane in the last 24 hours. She had to land in Bulgaria, and the Bulgarians say that it was the Russians who jammed the plane. How many of y'all heard that story? And they taking it pretty serious. The entire world party big time when he lost the 2020 election. Fireworks all over, the honking bells, ringing, people getting drunk and on the streets and dancing, lots of music. Yeah, it's going to be like the evil witch is dead, for real. It's going to be like that. Yeah, it's going to be like that. But make no illusions about it. That whole regime is foul, is nothing but trouble for the U.S. And yeah, they've done some very, very bad things, and they've said some, they've backed up these things with words, you know, and they've sold this idea of hatred. They've sold this idea of putting the military on the American people. They've sold this idea that poor people ain't shit, are not deserving. They sold this idea that the middle class ain't shit, just by trying to act like we're begging for something when it's our goddamn tax dollars, you know, um, and just so they could give the money to the people that are really begging, which is the wealthy. They think that they're deserving of just free money, the wealthy in the U.S. And they think they can tinker with American people's minds. Also, they really think they can do that. Like, they think they can sell ideas about what an American is while being fake themselves. Hey, y'all, did y'all know Peter Thiel is a New Zealand citizen? Did y'all know that? Let me just chat GDP this joint right now. 2 seconds. Is hold on. Is Peter hold on. Is Peter Thiel a dual citizen? Yes. Now look, this is what ChatGDP says about Peter Thiel. Peter Thiel, for folks that don't know, he's the guy behind JD Vance. It says Peter Thiel is a dual citizen of the United States and Germany. Wow. So that means he's got three citizenships. He's got three citizenships because he's also and also, look, that created controversy, but technically he's now holds U.S., German, and New Zealand. He has three citizenships. The man behind J.D. Vance and the man behind Trump's whole concept, Peter Thiel, has three citizenships. Now, how American do you think he really is? Like, flat out. Like, straight up. I'm an American citizen. I'm not a Danish citizen. I live in Denmark, but I'm not a Danish citizen even. And I'm more American. My family goes back to the beginning of the U.S., to the colonial period, both sides of my family. And this dude's got three citizenships, and he's hunting down other Americans. He's treating people like that. You see what I'm saying? What's going on? Look at this, y'all. let me just play it back.
Yes, Peter Thiel is a dual citizen of the United States and Germany. He was born in Frankfurt, West Germany in 1967. Because Germany grants citizenship by descent, jus sanguinis, he automatically held German citizenship at birth. His family moved to the US when he was a child, and he later became a naturalized US citizen. Thiel has confirmed that he retains his German citizenship, making him a dual citizen. There has also been reporting about him obtaining New Zealand residency and later citizenship, granted in 2011 despite very limited time spent in the country. That created controversy, but technically he now holds US, German and New Zealand citizenship. Do you want me to pull the latest official records to confirm whether he still holds all three citizenships today?
You see what I'm saying? That is the man behind JD Vance. That's one of the techies. The other big techie is obviously Elon Musk. You know, Trump is a third generation American. You see this kind of shit going on? You know, you see this kind of stuff going on? This is what MAGA is. This is who MAGA is. You know, they're basically frauds. They are bigots, not necessarily American. Just, you know, more bigot than American. You know, and I guess that's what MAGA seems to stand behind. You know, yeah, it's actually terrible, but that's what it is, y'all. That's what it is. Peter Thiel has three citizenships and was born in Germany, but yet he's the mastermind behind Trump's shit and JD Vance's shit. You know, he's the money guy behind JD Vance. So, you know, again, I'm not against immigrants of any type from any country, but I'm against frauds. And what's being perpetrated against the American people right now is a fraud with a face using the idea of heritage, but actually these people don't give a damn about heritage at all, because if they gave a damn about heritage of Americans, they would care about other Americans too. They would care about how they treat other Americans. You know, they would care about that. You know, they wouldn't just be randomly ripping babies out of Mexicans or Central American people's arms and sending their, you know, they wouldn't be treating them that way if they were real Americans, you know. And I wouldn't want to be treated that way if I was American, a U.S. citizen. Americans, we're not treated that way in South America. We're not treated that way in Central America. We're treated humanely by the governments. Even if you overstay your visa, you're still treated humanely. Even if you accidentally do something, even if you're a first generation or you have a child there, whatever it is, the political process, you're still treated humanely. And that's something that the Trump administration violated. Like, he totally violated that idea. Like, you know, treating people humanely, he violated it. Tia says, after being in the United States for only 1 year, Ronald Reagan made this Australian a citizen. Then he had the FCC chairman scrap the fairness doctrine, which kept newspapers and television programs from lying to the American people. You know, ever since Rupert Murdoch has been brainwashing Americans into believing our legitimate press is lying like he lies. Fox News is not news. Yeah, it's propaganda. Fox is propaganda news, straight up propaganda, you know, only propaganda, you know. Can you believe Trump ain't dragged his old ass out here yet? It's 47 minutes over 8, over 2 p.m., and he hasn't dragged his ass out here. I don't know what to say, y'all. I don't know what to say. It's actually, it's becoming problematic, man, because I got something to do. Actually, later on, I got some stuff to enjoy. Actually, some things I need to do. Yeah, Epstein list, Lakers, 247 Epstein list for real. Oh, here we go, y'all. Here we go. Let me turn it up.
It's a very important day and an important announcement with great friends of mine. I think I can say this group is every one of them I rate it 10. I can't always say that, even if they're Republicans, and these are Republicans, great Republicans. I want to thank you all for being here for this important announcement, 7 years in the making. As you know, this has been going on for a long period of time, and I am thrilled to report that the U.S. Space Command headquarters will move to the beautiful locale of a place called Huntsville, Alabama, forever to be known from this point forward as Rocket City. Okay, so Huntsville, Alabama, we love Alabama. I only won it by about 47 points. I don't think that influenced my decision, though, right? That didn't, right? But we had a lot of competition for this, and Alabama's getting it. Huntsville in particular, so congratulations, everybody. Katie, congratulations. This will result in more than 30,000 Alabama jobs, and probably much more than that, and hundreds of millions of dollars of investment, and that's billions, because it can't be millions, it's billions and billions of dollars. Most importantly, this decision will help America defend and dominate the high frontier, as they call it. I want to thank Secretary Pete Hegseth. He's doing a fantastic job. And Secretary of the Air Force Troy Mink. Troy, thank you very much. Great job you're doing, Troy. This is such a big deal. This is one that everybody wanted to know. What are you doing? I also want to thank Senators Katie Britt, and I want to give my condolences. Your grandmother, her grandmother just passed away. She was 100, right?
100, and she loves you, Mr. President.
Well, and she was very proud of you.
Thank you very much.
Very, very proud of you. So thank you, Katie.
Wonderful woman.
She must have been. To produce you indirectly, I can tell you she had to be. Tommy Tuberville, who's a great coach. And I won't say anything about what happened with Alabama football this weekend.
Let's leave that out.
But you're not used to that, right? You're not used to that. But Tommy, Auburn won, that's right. They did. So you're happy. Tommy's been a great senator, as you know, and a fantastic guy all around. He was also a tremendous coach. House Armed Services Committee Chair Mike Rogers. Thank you, Mike. Where's Mike? Mike, thank you very much. Doing great, Mike. Representatives Barry Moore, all great friends, Robert Adderholt, Gary Palmer, and Dale Strong. Thank you all very much, fellas. Appreciate it. In my first term, I created a thing called Space Force, so important. You know, we were losing the race in space very badly to China and to Russia, and now we're far and away #1 in space, and reestablished Space Com with a mission to protect American space assets and detect any threat to our homeland. We initially selected Huntsville for the Spacecom headquarters, yet those plans were wrongfully obstructed by the Biden administration. And as you know, they moved them to a different locale. And today we're moving forward with what we want to do and the place that we want to have this. And this will be there for hopefully hundreds of years. That's where it's going to be. I will say I want to thank Colorado. The problem I have with Colorado, one of the big problems, they do mail-in voting. They went to all mail-in voting. So they have automatically crooked elections. And we can't have that. When a state is for mail-in voting, that means they want dishonest elections, because that's what that means. So that played a big factor also. In Huntsville, Spacecom will play a key role in building the Golden Dome, as you know. That's going to be a big thing. Everybody wants to be a participant in it. Missile Defense Shield, we're going to be having a Golden Dome that the likes of which nobody's ever seen before. The finest, the best. And by the way, Canada called. They want to be a part of it, and that'll be great. But Canada wants very much to be included in that, and we're going to work something out with them, I hope. It will also ensure that our technological capabilities, of which we're way ahead of anybody else, there's nobody close, remain unmatched long into the future. So I'd like to ask Secretary Hegseth to say a few words. He was very much a part of it. And really, everybody behind me was. Every one of these people would call me and lobby me. I said, Katie, I don't want to talk to you anymore. I know what you want. She said, that's right, sir. That's what I want. And they got their way. So I just want to congratulate. These are really special people. They're politicians in many ways, but they're great patriots, I think even more so than politicians. So they fought very hard to get it, and it's an honor to give it to Huntsville. Pete, say a few words, please.
Thank you, Mr. President. As usual, right place, right time, for the right reason. In your first administration, you established the Space Force at a time when we knew we had to be looking to that domain of space. You also reestablished SpaceCom to ensure that priority was put in place, and you, through the Air Force, independently identified that Huntsville, Alabama was the right place to put it. For other reasons, in the next administration under Biden, they decided to move it somewhere else. Well, during that time, the DoD Inspector General, the Government Affairs Office, they did their own assessments, and where did they say SpaceCom should go? Huntsville, Alabama. So what you're doing today, Mr. President, is restoring it to precisely where it should be based on what the Space Force, the Air Force, your leadership believes will give us strategic advantage in the future. That is Huntsville, Alabama. We are way ahead in space, but this will ensure we stay leaps and bounds ahead because that's the most important domain. Whoever controls the skies will control the future of warfare. And Mr. President, today you're ensuring that happens. Thank you.
Thank you very much. Katie, would you like to say something?
Mr. President, we are grateful for your leadership on this and restoring Space Command to its rightful home in Huntsville, Alabama. This delegation has worked together, both chambers, both parties, to make sure that Huntsville was the place that Space Command called home. As was mentioned, obviously the Biden administration chose to make this political. What we want to do is put the safety and security of Americans first. We want to make sure that our war fighter is put first, and we want to make sure that America continues to lead. And today, Mr. President, you've allowed that to happen. Thank you.
Thank you very much. Tommy, please.
Yeah, thank you. Thank you, Mr. President. This is a great day for our country, not just for our state of Alabama. We need help in our military. We need to catch up. And as Secretary has said, we're not behind in space, but we know where we're at, and we need to expound on that. Now, this move will save the taxpayers $480 million. It's not going to cost more. It's going to cut $480 million. We have the plans intact. It'll be behind a secure wall in Huntsville, Alabama, at Redstone Arsenal.
Future Product Days delivers fresh thinking on AI, product operations, and growth. Built for what's next. From a session.
For the last 3 or 4 years about this. If I thought it needed to go somewhere else because I understand the security of our country, I'd be for that. But the best place for Space Command is Huntsville, Alabama, because what we have and what it means to this country is going to be so important. So thank you, Mr. President, for this, and we look forward to building a huge Space Command and having the Donald J. Trump Space Command Center in Huntsville, Alabama.
Here.
Sure. Well, Mr. President, thank you. I'll be very brief here. I lobbied the president hard to put it in Ohio, but he said these people behind us, these Alabamas, are just too powerful and too persuasive. And so it's in Alabama, but as Tommy said, this is exactly the right place for Space Force and Space Command. I think Americans ought to appreciate the fact that you can't win the battle of the future unless you control the skies. The cyber security, the communications, the entire infrastructure of the battle in the 21st century will be in space. So it was a visionary move in the first administration for the president to set up Space Force, and I think an equally visionary move to make sure the Space Force is right where it should be in Huntsville, Alabama. Thank you, sir.
Thank you very much. Gentlemen, anybody want to say anything? Would you like to say anything?
Mr. President, another promise made, another promise kept. You think about it, Redstone Arsenal is critical to national security. The president said when you were the 45th president, let's do what's right for national security. And today, that's exactly what we're doing. It's not because of this or that. It's because it's right for national security. You think of the 21 categories that were evaluated to determine what was best for national security. All indicators pointed back to Huntsville, Alabama, and Redstone Arsenal. We have the right people at the right place at the right time. Mr. President, on behalf of the people of the 5th Congressional District and all of Alabama, thank you for keeping your word. Absolutely.
Thank you very much. Anybody?
Let me just say, Mr. President, I want to say thank you. And thank you for doing this because it was the right thing to do. When they looked at all the numbers, Huntsville was the place to go, and like you say, it was unfortunately pulled out, but you made it right. So I want to just say thank you again for a grateful nation, and to the state of Alabama, we're very grateful. Thank you, and God bless.
Thank you very much.
Thank you.
Thank you
please. Thank you, Mr. President. Throughout history, militaries has always understood that whoever could hold the high ground held the advantage. Space is the ultimate high ground. And what we're doing with moving the Space Command to Huntsville is absolutely critical to our maintaining dominance in that sphere. And it goes hand in hand with what we're trying to do with the Golden Dome and missile defense to defend against anyone else who tries to enter that sphere. So thank you, Mr. President.
Thank you very much. Please.
Thank you, Mr. President. And obviously, national defense is a huge issue. And when you look at the scores, Alabama was #1. And for political reasons, it was moved out of our state. But, Mr. President, thank you for making priorities the defense and the warfighter and the safety of this nation. And in the big, beautiful bill, that Golden Dome will be built in Huntsville, Alabama, and we're grateful for that. Thank you.
Listen, as chairman of the Armed Services Committee, I care very much about what's most important for our national security. And the President held a nationwide competition to determine where we should have this command. If y'all remember, at the end of that competition, where Alabama came in first, there was a lot of complaints from the other states who did not place well. He said, we'll do it over with new criteria to accommodate your concerns. Alabama came in first in that second competition. His Secretary of the Air Force reviewed the results, said it was fair, and the President named Huntsville. It was the Biden administration that decided to make it political, even though his own Secretary of the Air Force said it was a fair competition and it should be in Huntsville. So I want you to know I appreciate this president standing up and being strong and saying he's going to make this right and put it where it rightfully belongs, and that's Huntsville, Alabama.
Thank you very much. Good job. So thank you all very much. You are going to leave me alone now. You're not going to call me anymore and talk about this subject, right? You promise? They'll start something else. But I just want to congratulate you. It's a very big deal. When you come out and when you leave the room, you'll see that we just, over the last few minutes, literally shot out a boat, a drug-carrying boat, a lot of drugs in that boat. And you'll be seeing that and you'll be reading about that. It just happened moments ago, and our great general, head of the Joint Chiefs of Staff, who's been so incredible, including what took place in Iran, knocking out potential nuclear power for a long time to come. I think within a month they would have had it if we didn't do what we did. But he gave us a little bit of a briefing, and you'll see. And there's more where that came from. We have a lot of drugs pouring into our country, coming in for a long time. And we just, these came out of Venezuela and coming out very heavily from Venezuela. A lot of things are coming out of Venezuela. So we took it out, and you'll get to see that after this meeting is over. Do you have any questions, please? Yeah, please.
Hey, Mr. President. Senator Tuberville talked about the cost savings associated with this announcement. Can you talk about the strategic benefits by having Space Force Command headquartered in Huntsville?
Well, it just works because we have so much else there. And having a central, you could call it a central command, but it really is a command station. Also, even locationally, where it is, and when you think about flying distances, if you can save a half an hour as fast as some of these planes go and things go, and even the rockets go, if you can save by having the best location. So we went out, as you know, to experts, and we had 4 different groups of experts. They all said this was the best location. I also loved it from the standpoint, I know the people of Alabama, they are great people, work hard, and there's no games, and they're very proud of it. And I would say they fought harder for it than anybody else also. A lot of states, 5 states really wanted it, but they wanted it more. And I kid you not when I say that these people, they spoke to me a lot. That's all they wanted to talk about. They didn't want to talk about the weather. They only wanted to talk about moving to this location, moving to Alabama, Huntsville in particular. So we're honored to do it. They really wanted it badly, and they got it. Peter?
President Trump, something completely different, but about a big viral social media trend over the weekend. How did you find out over the weekend that you were dead? You see that?
No.
People didn't see it for a couple days. 1.3 million user engagements as of Saturday morning about your demise.
Really? I didn't see that. You know, I have heard, it's sort of crazy, but last week I did numerous news conferences, all successful. They went very well, like this is going very well. And then I didn't do any for 2 days, and they said, there must be something wrong with him. Biden wouldn't do them for months. You wouldn't see him. And nobody ever said there was ever anything wrong with him, and we know he wasn't in the greatest of shape. No, I heard that. I get reports. Now, you knew I did an interview that lasted for about an hour and a half with somebody, and everybody saw that was on one of your competitors. I did numerous shows and also did a number of truths, long truths, I think pretty poignant truths. No, I was very active over the weekend. They also knew I went out to visit some people at the club that I own, pretty nearby on the Potomac River. And no, I've been very active actually over the weekend. I didn't hear that one. That's pretty serious stuff. Well, it's fake news. You know, it's just it's so fake. That's why the media has so little credibility. I knew they were saying, like, is he okay? How's he feeling? What's wrong? I said, I just left. And it's also sort of a longer weekend, you know, it's Labor Day weekend. So I would say a lot of people know I was very active this Labor Day. I had heard that, but I didn't hear it to that extent. Go ahead, Peter.
We know that this country has a huge problem with school shootings. You've said that you're open to sending the National Guard pretty much anywhere. Would you ever consider sending an armed National Guardsman to every school?
Well, we have a big problem with school shooting, but we also have thousands and thousands of schools that run perfectly. You know, they talk about you can do things construction-wise, and that's really, I think nobody knows more about construction than me. You can build the construction doors. You can build what they call safety doors, where they lock on the outside, the inside, and every place else. Well, but if one of these lunatics happens to get through, then the police can't get in. Then they're looking for keys all over the place, and it takes a lot of disadvantages to doing, spending billions and billions of dollars and actually making it safer in some way for some of these lunatics that we're dealing with. But I don't think so. I've thrown out the concept. We have great teachers that love our children. The parents love the children. Teachers love the children too. And if you took a small percentage of those teachers that were in the military, that were distinguished in the military, that were in the National Guard, et cetera, and you let them carry, that's something that a lot of people like. I sort of liked it. It'd have to be studied, but they're trained. They know about weapons. You can't do it with every teacher because most teachers don't know, but I always thought that would be an alternative. But it just, we've had a lot of instances. Other countries have different kinds of problems than we have, but we do have, there's something going on, and it's a bad thing. Yes, please.
Have you spoken with President Putin in the past week? Have you spoken with President Putin in the past week?
Yeah, I don't want to, I have learned things that will be very interesting. I think in the next few days you'll find out.
Consequences if there isn't some type of announcement of a meeting with President Putin and President Zelensky? And what could those consequences be?
We're going to see what happens. We're going to see what they do and what happens. I'm watching it very closely. Last week they lost 7,000, between the two countries, 7,313 soldiers, to be somewhat exact, for no reason whatsoever. And they're Russian and they're Ukrainian, but, they're soldiers. I want to see it end. Yeah.
Have you decided you're definitely going to send National Guard troops to Chicago?
I didn't say when, but the answer is, look, Chicago's very interesting because I watched Pritzker get up and say about, we don't need help, we're safe. But 2 weeks ago, they had 6 people murdered, and they had 24 people hit by bullets. Last week, as you know, it was 7 people, 24 people hit, and 7 people died. And then over the last 2 days, that was the crown jewel. They had, I guess, 9 or 10 killed, and 50 hit with bullets. And you have this governor get up, who's a terrible governor. Probably he and Gavin Newsom would be probably the 2 worst and most naive. They're naive. Either they're naive or they're very untruthful. And he'll say, we don't want any protection. We don't need. So in the last 3 weeks, he's lost almost 20 people killed. There's no place in the world, including you can go to Afghanistan, you can go to places that you would think of. They don't even come close to this. Chicago is a hellhole right now. Baltimore is a hellhole right now. Parts of Los Angeles are terrible. If we didn't put out the fires, and I mean the other fires, the bullet fires, they didn't do a good job with, they should have had the water coming down, like I said. You know, we had to release the water. We had to go in and release the water to LA. It's so badly run. But if we didn't if I didn't send the National Guard into Los Angeles, I would be making an announcement today. I'd be talking about Huntsville, and I'd simultaneously be saying, by the way, the Olympics is not coming to Los Angeles. If we didn't do that, and even the sheriff, the top law enforcement person in Los Angeles said, we could not have handled it without them. So that's what he said.
Make your mind up on Chicago, though?
Well, we're going in. I didn't say when. We're going in. When you lose, look, I have an obligation. This isn't a political thing. I have an obligation. When we lose, when 20 people are killed over the last 2.5 weeks, and 75 are shot with bullets. So let me tell you a little story about a place called D.C., District of Columbia, right here where we are. It's now a safe zone. We have no crime. It's in such great shape. You can go and actually walk with your children, your wife, your husband. You can walk right down the middle of the street. You're not going to be shot, Peter. You're safe. Everyone likes you anyway. They probably wouldn't do it. But it's so dangerous. And there are people in this audience that you've suffered greatly. There are people in this audience that have been mugged and hurt badly, and they don't want to talk about it. Maybe you were very brave in talking about it. You made quite an impression on a lot of people. I appreciate it. But there were other people in this room that have been hurt very badly just walking down the street in D.C. Washington, D.C. is a safe zone right now. It's a safe city. The restaurants are open. They're booming. You can't get a restaurant. New restaurants are announcing that they're going to be open. This took place in 12 days. Now it's 15 days, but 3 days ago it became what's known as a safe zone, as a safe city. And this city was really bad, really, really bad. We took 1,600 people out, hardcore criminals that will not be coming back anytime soon. And we're very proud of it. You know, to have our nation's capital lose every week. You know, it was like years, many years, where every single week somebody was killed for many, many, many consecutive weeks. This went on for years. And then we had, last week it was announced that nobody was killed last week. And I made that announcement in front of a very distinguished leader of a country. And I'm saying proudly, ladies and gentlemen, nobody was killed in Washington, D.C. this week. He looked at me like, what's that all about? I say, yeah, we have a little bit of a crime problem. And we don't have a crime problem in Washington anymore. And the mayor has been very helpful. And the police commission has been very helpful. And it's been a great team. And I would love to have Governor Pritzker call me. I gain respect for him. And say, we do have a problem. And we'd love you to send in the troops. Because you know what? The people, they have to be protected. I saw today on one of your networks, not a friendly network, really the opposite, I would say, very unfriendly network. And they interviewed about 12 people on this morning. Most of them were African American, who were black. And they were saying, please, please, please let the president send in. These were people from Chicago. Please, we need help. We need help. We can't walk outside. We're petrified. If the governor of Illinois would call me up, I would love to do it. Now, we're going to do it anyway. We have the right to do it because I have an obligation to protect this country. And that includes Baltimore. I saw where Governor Moore was asking me to take a walk down the street of Baltimore. Well, Baltimore is a very unsafe place. It's rated number 4 in the city, one of the most unsafe places anywhere in the world. But, you know, we took care. This was a beautiful thing that happened in Washington because we showed that it could be done. And this wasn't just sending big, strong guys, and they are big and they are strong. You know, we had a great decision from the Supreme Court that had to do with sort of talent. It had to do with you are put down based on merit. You can hire based on merit. So merit for a soldier or for a policeman is strong, physically fit, something, having a certain ability, not a person that is woke and got the job through woke, but wasn't strong enough to lift a gun out of the holster, et cetera, et cetera. No, I looked at the police. As you know, last week I went over, we had a meeting with, there had to be 300 people, and they were all very impressive looking. And when the bad guys see them, they're not going to do a thing. And so I'm very proud of Washington. It serves as a template, and we're going to do it elsewhere. But Chicago is certainly going to be high. I would love to have him call. I would love the governor of Illinois. I'd be honored to take his call. All he has to do is say, sir, we need help. It's out of control. And everyone knows it is. He's not kidding anyone. I would love to have, I would say, Governor Moore call, because I watched him over the weekend trying to explain that Baltimore, what they need is housing. No, they don't need housing. They need to get rid of the criminals. These are hardcore criminals. We took many people off the streets of Washington, D.C. They're hardcore. They're not going to be good. In 10 years, in 20 years, in 2 years, they're going to be criminals. They were born to be criminals, frankly. They were born to be criminals, and they're tough and mean, and they'll cut your throat, and they won't even think about it the next day. They won't even remember that they did it. And we're not going to have those people. Washington, D.C. is now a safe zone. It's a safe place. And you can walk, Katie, you can walk right down the street with, by the way, one of the biggest human beings I've ever seen, which is her husband. He was a football player for like 11 years in the NFL. He's a big person. But big doesn't mean anything when they have guns and when they have knives and everything else that they have, right? But you can walk right down the street, even by yourself, and you're totally safe. Washington, D.C. is a great thing. Yes, ma'am, please.
Calling on Democratic leaders across the country to work with you on crime. Do you see your efforts here in D.C., including, for example, working with Mayor Bowser here as a model for bringing more bipartisanship in matters not only with crime, but also issues that matter to everyday American people's lives?
So Mayor Bowser's been great. She could have taken the thing well, and then after I clean it up, they'll take credit for it. You know what they do is they take credit. Like, we cleaned up Los Angeles. We did a great job there. And it was overwhelming what was going on. And again, the police chief made a statement that we could not have done, there's no way they could handle it. You saw what was happening out there. It was going to be a disaster. We stopped it cold. If we didn't do that, would have been a very sad day. And remember, we have the Olympics, we have the World Cup, we have all these things coming, and we have 250, all of these things coming. But I watched Newsom get up and say he's doing a great. He's not. We're the ones that did it, and that's okay, whatever it takes. But the main thing is we. But he got up and said we did it. Well, he didn't want us there, and he's going to need us again because it's starting to form again. I see it. It's starting to form again. We have to maintain. It's like maintenance on an airplane. You can buy it, but you have to maintain it. And if you don't maintain it, a good plane becomes very unsafe very quickly. So it's an honor to do it. It's a lot of presidents wouldn't do what I'm doing. I don't need this heat. But when I watched television last night and I'm watching the news and I see that 9 people were killed in Chicago and 54 were badly wounded with bullets, I say, that's not this country. We have to do something. And I do say this. I say this very much. I'm not speaking to anybody but them right now. I would love to receive calls from governors and mayors saying they need help. We'll help them. We have a lot of people. We have a great force. We have a great military force. Pete will tell you that when I was running for office, and this was a big headline, I think, probably got me a couple of votes, but you couldn't sign people in the military. Nobody wanted to join the military, the Army, Air Force, the Navy, Marines, Space Force, Coast Guard. We never forget Coast Guard because they've done such a great job. Never. But nobody wanted to join any of them. We were way below what we wanted. Every single one. The closest was the Marines, whatever that is. You'll explain that to me. But the closest was the Marines. But every service was way down, way down. And then I got elected, and our country's the hottest country anywhere in the world right now. Everybody's talking about the USA. They're talking about the job that we're doing. Everybody. We have the best economy. We have a very, very important decision.
All right. So, I'm going to stop this right now. I'm going to cut the stream short. But Trump doesn't look well. He looks like after about 10 minutes, he starts rambling, This whole thing about just ask, we want to help. Just ask if you want. Well, what about the disaster victims? They asked you. Gavin asked you when the fire happened. He said no. He threatened to withhold money. Even people in the red states asked, and he literally said no. Like literally withheld disaster funds. So I'm sorry. You have to be crazy in your head or miss the news to think that Trump wants to help people. If you're not willing to help people in a natural disaster, you basically fail. And that's what Trump has done. Same Americans. If you're not willing to help the very American citizens who are poor in red states, who are middle class in red states or blue states, if you're not willing to help them with Medicare, you don't want to help them. It's their federal dollars. It's not your federal dollars. Trump is not helping anybody with his money. These are the federal dollars that these people already paid out in advance. You see, this thing about wanting the governors to wanting to work with governors, they're telling you every day in national news media how they want to work with you, inviting you to the town to come and walk. That's what you do when you're inviting someone to work with you. He refused that. See, it's different from wanting to dictate. When you want to dictate, you want everything on your terms or nothing at all. And that's what Trump is doing. That's not help. That's dictating. And I'm sorry, American people don't like it. They're tired of it. It's just that simple. And if you wanted me dictating to you, you should elect me the president of your country, and I'll be happy to oblige you, Like, really, if that's what you want to be dictated to, then you should be happy to be dictated to. But I would say, if you don't live in California, you should probably go there and listen and talk to some Californians, because they're on all types of news every day. Independent media, national media, the same thing. All you got to do is go to these people. Go to D.C. Listen to what the people in D.C. say. The difference between Mayor Bowser is that she didn't have a choice. D.C. is a federal city. If she did not say okay, they would hold up any federal dollars that the D.C. taxpayers have already paid in advance. That's what's going on. She doesn't even have they have congressional oversight, and Congress is absent. You see, so that's the difference. These other, Maryland is a state, Virginia is a state, Chicago is a state, California is a state, DC is not a state. So don't be fooled by trolls on the internet, and learn to ask good questions. When you see a troll, say, what state do you live in? Are you even American? Just qualify so you can get some qualifying information to these kind of statements that they make, because that's why I always start my broadcast off with saying I'm an American citizen. I live in Denmark. My family on both sides comes from the colonial period of the United States. So you know who I'm talking to. So you know that maybe I might have some insight on what it's like growing up in DC, or what it's like living in Denmark, Copenhagen, Denmark. Things like this, not just theories from afar, not just theories from a distance. But on that note, I appreciate everybody for joining me. I'm going to be back tomorrow. If not tomorrow, the day after, because I'm totally free. My schedule is kind of tight tomorrow, but I will be back. But I appreciate everybody for coming out. And on that note, I'm going to catch up with y'all real soon. Everybody be good. Yo, actually, Trump looked horrible, if you ask me. I don't know. Like, he looked like he wasn't standing that well. He looks like he's very tired, if you ask me. And the man just doesn't look good. But unfortunately, we can't celebrate his death or his rolling over and just falling out yet. But hopefully that's soon to come. You know what I'm saying? But at any note, I appreciate everybody. Y'all be good. I'll be back with y'all soon. And take care of yourselves. Bless.
want more. Crime babies looking for food, starvation, the recipe, people subdued. When the people you trust got it in for you. Deceit is the word of the day and every clue. Don't let it go, it's from the days of old. Time is up, but some still do not know. Can I make up my mind? Is it worth the dime? Do I have to take a minute just to make it mine? Life's never fair, but don't listen to the TV. Go out and take a listen to the streets with the people in the slums and the homeless bums with degrees and degrees sitting under a tree. It's not easy in the world for the poor man, the one that brought you to reality. See, they don't want you to know about the black sheep. Even 7 roads to the 12 families all around the globe with an ancient code. Is it really asking a lot to say a death old? Cause we sitting on the earth looking back at extinct, and I'm standing on some ground that's about to sink. I ain't scared for a minute, I ain't about to blink, but I documented for the world what I see and think. Feel we on the call and up and we on the brink. All Congress gonna do is waste paper and ink. Vote or die, you voted and you'll die. You can have it both ways, can't say it's a lie. You can march all you want, but they playing you wrong. They only understand war, it's the same old song. They want war, all they really want is a war. Diversionary tactic to make the big score. The diamonds in the morning, you know they want more, but they wanna keep you low, so they manifest the war. All they really want is a war. Diversionary tactic to make the big score. The diamonds in the morning, you know they want more, but they wanna keep you low, so they manifest the war. Like a lotus coming out of the mud with colors, I create envy in those with power but jealous. I unify the poor with my song, the hell with the others. Descended the way they treat indigenous brothers, cause I understand we link forever. They try to hate us even though that we keep it together. I'm not talking about controlling the air or the weather, I'm talking about maintaining the truth, the high endeavor. A rebel drops bombs in the midst of trouble. The free world counterattack and now there's double, but nature gets the shit in the way to settle. If you stop the machines for a minute you might hear, but they won't cause the TV's whisper in the ear. And capitalism has eyes that don't tear, and they cloud up and get crazy and won't steer. And like an ad, it's hard to get an ass to listen. Living like this is like living in prison. It's hard to keep hope when you're living in prison. The spiritual thoughts, so yes, the mental prison. The outside, yes, it's got to get through. Something's gotta die, so something here can live. Your life is nothing if you got nothing to give. Keeping the spiritual, yes, disguised as religion. Controlling your mind, the mental prison. They want war, all they really want is a